I'm not old, but when really got me when the doctor told me, your sugar level is really high, and that kind of like wow, and they said, well, I need to start you on medication, and I was like, I'm like, what? Now I put myself on my dad's, place. I said, wow, I'm his son, and I'm taking the same medication, and that kind of really bothers me, because I said, well, he's older, and I'm young, so I'm not doing my life correctly, or, things that I should be taking care of, so it kind of like make me think, what do I have to do now? I think because doing my overall of my life, I think being overweight has, increased because I was like, well, I'm not even 30, and I'm pre-diabetes, like, wow, that really shocked me, because like my aunt, she died when she was 52. My grandma died when she was like 80, 87, but she had diabetes for 30 years. But she had the medication, and things like that. So I think the lifestyle really kind of changed, because in Mexico, where I'm from, we walk everywhere. It's not like we have a car and then we just go, so that kind of like helps. Also, the food that we eat there is kind of like fresh. It's like we don't have food, for 1 week in the refrigerator. We have 1 day, and mom goes and buy the chicken and we cook and eat it, and it's kind of like fresh, and it's not like we go to fast foods like we do here, because we are in a hurry, so that has something to do with that. It's hard, because of the lifestyle that person is having at this moment of their lives, but it's not the end of the world. They can, by making small changes, it will be much better, and they will get more stronger, than they're right now, because they will have the knowledge, of what they have to do. Now they can't change, what they have, but they can change the longer that they can live, a healthy life, and depend, and how that person can contribute to other people, so they won't, so we can save lives in a way that we can, like, instead of myself, be diagnosed at 30, if I would have known on that time, then I would maybe be diagnosed when I would be 55, that would make a difference. But, knowing that I was diagnosed at 30, I can still feel stronger, and I can, and it was a habit. It was maybe, I was not educated, and that should not be ashamed. I would not feel ashamed of myself. If not, I have more control of my life, that I can make the right decisions at this point. Well, the highest that I was, it was 250. So, it was like I couldn't do it no more, And people would say, "Oh, you look older," because I really was really big, and I was. So I had I started like going to the gym, doing aerobics, doing treadmill, some weights. So I went down to 184. So I have gained some, but it's still, it's not. I'm active. So I don't, maybe it has turned to a muscle. That if I wouldn't, well, especially because I work around, the community, and I have always worked with the community, and, with health issues that we are facing, the Latino community facing in United States. I should, educate, I should educate myself more on what my family has gone through, as far as my dad and my grandparents, and how it's impacting now our new generation for my family members that shouldn't know what things that change, what small steps that I could have made, instead of just forget about it, because I know that I have diabetes. I know it won't go away, However, as far as now, I know that I can live a well life, nice life with knowledge, with taking first think about what I'm gonna eat, and and that I have to exercise every day, in order for me to live longer. So those things, I didn't know before. So now, I can, say I'm happy. My health is it's good right now. I have control my diabetes. I have control my cholesterol, my sleep apnea. The only thing that I have is my high blood pressure. It's just a little higher, but it has been controlled. Like it's now has been high. So that's the only thing. I mean, I have five. I only have one right now that I'm working on, and I think by the end of the summer I'll be good to go.